Blame it on it.
When's the follow-up coming out? Awana. That's really more your speed, let's be honest.
Travis, blame it on him.
Blame it on the sheep.
That's the smell in here.
Jim Harris is on the line with us now on the Stickies Rock and Roll Chicken Shack hotline. Yes, Jim.
I am so determined to not have to pay, for it here that I'm flying to Mexico to watch it on TV there.
That would be a good investment. There are a lot of people who are sitting around waiting for an invite to a party or a bar so they can go watch it for free or cheap.
Yeah.
I wonder what local bars are paying. Like, I know there are going to be plenty of our sponsors who are probably carrying the fight. I wonder what is, and I know it's based on the potential number of eyeballs that could be on. So I'm curious what kind of money they're getting for that.
I will bet you. Right? I will bet you that in
probably 7 or 8 or 10.
Percentage of money, the guy who paid $40,000, whatever it was for that ticket, the percentage of that money to his income is probably great. It's smaller than a $99 or $100 buy of the.
It's like $40. It'd be like us paying $40 for a ticket.
Probably true.
Well, yeah, it's like he's paying 40. I would be paying, a greater sum of my income just for the $100 pay-per-view. So I would bet that shelling out that guy was shelling out tip money.
When's the last? I mean, was the last time we saw something like this was Mayweather and De La Hoya?
As far as
the hype around it and the excitement
around.
I went to Gasano's, I think, that night and watched it. It was fun.
Yeah, this is the highest price
spot
ever. Yeah, but I mean, as far as the hype around the fight and the excitement level,
a lot of hype around it, and similarly, I think we're getting Pacquiao a little late. For Mayweather, I think this fight should have been held 5 years ago.
Definitely should have. There's no question about that.
Instead, we're sort of getting the 27 Yankees and the in 1938.
Yeah.
It's kind of that deal.
Well, what do you think is different though? Because Mayweather is what, 38?
Yeah.
So I mean, they both have years on them.
Yeah, but Mayweather's got less
punches in his face.
Boxing years. He's got less punches. I mean, he's taken less punishment. I mean, think about the last. Who was the guy? Was it Marquez? Who was it? The Pacquiao.
He's going to knock out on him.
Fight twice, whatever. I mean, I think what was his name? Isn't that right?
The Marquez that beat Pacquiao.
Yeah, and then he had to come back and beat it.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he's just had a lot more wear and tear. But hey, I'm for him. I hope he flattens the guy. I hope he absolutely blasts Mayweather.
I think that's how I feel too. I just don't think it's going to happen. But yeah, it's like Harrison Ford said. It's not the years, honey. It's the miles. To quote the late great Han Solo, or is he still alive? Anyway,
I hope he's still alive.
Yeah, he just crashed his plane.
It's not the miles. It's
Han Solo
the
did?
plane crashes on city streets.
Yep. He's a bad man. Well, unlike John Denver, his was not an experimental aircraft. It was an actual plane, so that's why he lived. So, too soon? Jim, okay, so you're rooting for Pacquiao, and you think who will win, though?
It wouldn't surprise me if it was a draw. But
really?
It wouldn't surprise me at all.
Okay, well, you need to throw some money down in Vegas, then, because that would be worthy.
Yeah, I could make some.
No doubt, a lot.
Yeah, I don't know, because I'm so. I mean, my heart's in it with Pacquiao, but I feel like it's probably Mayweather. Probably just going to win it.
Okay. Sauk Razorback baseball. The streak continues. They win another series. They are moving up in the RPI only slightly. 23 in Baseball America, 30 in collegiate baseball, 24 in the D1 poll. This week, Alabama, no midweek series. Takeaways from last weekend against Mississippi State.
I saw Friday night's game. Really terrific. How Mississippi State's a pretty hard luck team. They've got plenty of hitters. They've got pitchers. They've got a lot going for them. They're just having some bad luck and are just, I don't know. I mean, Arkansas fell down to West Ray's 2-run homer. I could almost see it coming too. It was like, this guy's going to pop it out of here and put them ahead. And sure enough, I mean, he's 5 for 5 on that home run to right field. Then Arkansas scraps together 2 more runs to take came back in the eighth inning. It was a terrific game to watch. It was the coldest 63 degrees I've probably sat through. I don't know what it was. It was really chilly. The next day was a terrific game all the way around. Dominic Picacello gets out of trouble a lot, and they win 6-1. I think they should have taken Sunday, but could not put the hits together. They had it's kind of the good luck went Mississippi State's way. This league is so tough. I mean, there is very little separating each team in this league. And unfortunately, somebody's got to be in last. And fortunately for Arkansas, it's not the Hogs, it's Mississippi State. And they did win that. Now they go to Alabama, who, is probably the same way. They've had some games they've beaten. They've got a good win or two here and there, and then they've got some hard luck losses. Man, Arkansas could have been knocking on the door to second place if they went one Sunday. That was what's so heartbreaking. Now, there's no way they're going to catch A&M or LSU, and then all of a sudden you're looking at the standings.
They're right there.
One game back.
Yeah, that's right. It's crazy.
And the thing is, they're only, a game or so ahead of what looks like mediocrity, or you could call it parity. I don't know, but, it's a really tight league. And so Arkansas has got to go on the road where they've played good lately. They're still, they're the only team to win 5 series in a row in the league. They were the only one to win 4 at the time, so they're up to 5 series victories in a row, and that's what they've got to do. I think that kind of had something to do with Sunday's game. I thought they seemed like after Saturday's game, they'd won that series, and it was kind of like a little bit of a Sunday letdown, at least with the bats, and then some luck kind of went against them. I mean, they had a hit that probably could have cleared the bases, and Mississippi State, I forget the kid's name, just makes this unreal diving catch that probably saved the ball game for Mississippi State. It's just that's how close it is in this league, to winning and losing.
Did you realize how good the top of the Missouri Valley was? We were talking about this earlier. Dallas Baptist, which I didn't know played in the Missouri Valley, second in the country in RPI. Missouri State's 9th in the country in RPI, and Bradley, not Pat, 21st in the country in RPI.
Yeah, Missouri State has beaten everybody in Arkansas that they played, including the Razorbacks, in those midweek games. Now, I will say that a lot of the Missouri Valley, they kind of benefited with getting some midweek games. I think we talked about this either last week or the week before, that the parity in baseball is such that I don't think there's a lot of great loaded pitching staffs like we've seen before in the SEC. And, I mean, you've seen Ole Miss get beat. I forget who beat them this year from Arkansas, but I know that UAPB's won against Missouri and Mississippi State. I know UALR's won over Missouri. I mean, there's been some midweek wins that typically you used to just see these dominant Oklahoma State, Arkansas, people like that used to have a 4th or 5th guy that couldn't get in on the weekend and would be pitching in a midweek game, so it would give them the edge. But now your midweek pitching, it seems like all through the country is different. It's not quite as deep. And it's benefited conferences like the Missouri Valley or the Sun Belt.
What's benefiting them from an RPI standpoint is, too, and I didn't really realize this, I guess, as I was mentioning this earlier, is their number of road games. They have played, out of their 40 games, they played 12 home games. 40 games, 12
You're talking about
home.
Dallas Baptist?
No, I'm talking about Missouri State.
Oh, Missouri State.
Dallas Baptist has played 41 games. They played 18 at home. Missouri State has played 40 games. They played 12 home games.
On the road and won.
Yeah. Would you say they were 16-7 on the road, something like that? Justin?
On the road, they are 14-4 on true road games, 7-3 on neutral site games.
That ain't bad.
It used to be that Wichita State was head whatever.
Head and shoulders?
Whatever the term is.
Head and shoulders above?
Maybe they are head over heels for them. Who knows?
They were head over heels.
I don't know. I don't know them.
sound like your afternoon guy. They were the dominant year after year after year, and Todd Butler's up there now. And the last I looked,
Old Todd Butler, yeah, I forgot about that.
Todd Butler from Arkansas.
Yeah,
he's in his second year there, and the last I looked, and their record was horrible. I mean, for Wichita State in their second year, I mean, they, as much as they love to win in basketball, as you know now, as we've seen, they just live for baseball up there. Those folks pack it in, and I mean, that's a Missouri Valley team. It's a conference that has had some success, mostly Wichita State, but these other teams, they at least had a pretty good baseball team off and on. But yeah, Dallas Baptist, I did not realize they're playing in there. Man, Justin, they used to slip into Fayetteville every now and then and, pull an upset over the Hogs. They always get, I don't know, there's just some good.
Do they have any other sports?
There's good golf players in their area.
Well, do they have basketball or football there? Because I don't know that I've ever heard of it.
No, they don't have football.
Do they have basketball?
I can't answer that. I don't know. I just know that all they've ever done is they've been on Arkansas' schedule in the past. They weren't this year, but they've slipped in there and won. They were the second seed, weren't they, in the NCAA tournament at TCU Regional?
Yes, I think that's right. Was it TCU or was it Rice? Yeah, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, you're right. They were good. They were good recently. Yeah, they played in a very small.
They upset the. It must have been Rice, because they upset the host one year, didn't they?
Yeah, I think that's right. They play in a very small conference. I don't know exactly what conference they're in. They play they play UA Fort Smith. I guess they play in the Heartland Conference
for basketball.
Yeah, so they play in a very small conference for basketball.
Basketball's so easy to furnish a team.
One weird deal where you've got a team playing in two different conferences.
Happens. I mean, UCA plays, I know, like soccer and some of those other sports they put in different conferences. I think they play in the Missouri Valley in soccer. But before we run out of time, I did want to ask about the spring game, too. It's like we talked about yesterday. It's just hard to really get a feel for how good you're playing because you're playing against all guys who are clearly backups, and they don't really mix and match the teams to try to make it somewhat even. But what were your takeaways from the spring overall and the spring game specifically?
My takeaways initially, and they're still there, were that the defensive performance, as much as these coaches can gear it to fit what they want, like if they want the defense to dominate, they can gear that. If they want the quarterbacks to succeed, they can do that. Well, they kind of did both. But this was the most dominant red or first-team defensive performance I can remember seeing in many, many years. I mean, across the board, from the back line all the way to the front line, and they worked a lot of different people in. I mean, it wasn't just 11 guys on defense. They put some guys that had been on the white, put them in red jerseys, gave them a chance to play, and pretty much even with some substitutions, it was never a letdown. What they gave up one first down, and that was they put in a backup linebacker who I think he probably made the one mistake they made, and they gave up a short first down. Think about this last year, how the defense was still a little, just under Rob Smith first year, there was some confusion. Austin Allen made them pay a couple of times with some plays. You just didn't see any of that this year. Not at all. These guys communicate well. I'm a big fan of Kalia Hackett in the middle at linebacker. I think it's been great. It's about Brooks Ellis to move out to the weak side. And then on offense, if the receivers do their job, in this case, Brandon Allen would have gone into halftime 20 out of 21. I just don't think he couldn't do that in a pass skeleton. With no defense.
2 years ago, yeah.
He probably couldn't do. That's hard to do when there's no defenders
on air.
There.
That's right.
And that was just a terrific performance, both on all aspects. I'm a big fan of what's happened with Jeremy Sprankle, kind of rebuilding himself physically, adding 20 pounds of strength. That's a new the kid, Cody Walker.
Yep.
That's the first time since before he was a senior in high school that's what he was like before he broke his leg in high school. The guy's had 2 major leg injuries, and this is the first time he's had his legs. And he was at 255 last year. People didn't know that. He's 250, but with way better physique. I mean, better eating, muscle. You know, he's in better shape.
Well, he ran that one point guy over. I know that.
Yeah, my Sprinkle. I mean, Cody Walker will be a great third back who will get used. I mean, and give Collins and Jay Will some break. And Keon Hatcher had the one tough play that he didn't hold the ball to the ground, I guess, kind of like a NFL catch that was ruled incomplete for a touchdown. But other than that, he looked good. The line changes look good to me. So,
is it safe to say you're feeling as good coming out of the spring as you could have?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
No doubt about it. I mean, I think they're improved again. I think you can say that they're where they ought to be, if not ahead of where they ought to be for Bielema's third season.
I feel good about it, Jim.
The only thing I feel bad. Let me just say really quick. Only thing I'm concerned about is I think there's a bigger gap between the starting quarterback and the guys behind him. And that's a concern if you take into consideration that Brandon has been hurt to some extent, like Missouri last year or most of the season the year before. That's a concern that he's probably going to run a little bit. He could get banged up. You can get tackled the wrong way and hurt your oblique or that kind of thing. It's a concern that and it's not the coaching. I mean, a part of us say, come on, coaches, bring a guy up. It's up to those players to get there, and I'm not sure there is one that could step in and lead this team to 8 wins if something happened to Brandon Allen.
Well, I encourage everybody around the state who is a Razorback fan then to do as I will do tonight. When I sit down at my dinner table, you say a little prayer for Brandon Allen's obliques and the rest of his body to stay healthy through the fall.
Well, as long as his hamstrings are firing or his quads are firing,
hamstrings,
I think he'll be okay.
Yeah.
I think it's glutes.
Glutes got to fire.
Glutes are firing. Yes, Tiger.
As long as they fire, I think he'll be cool.
Yeah, well, I just hope his shoulder doesn't pop out so he doesn't have to pop it back in and then continue to play.
That too.
Well,
Kevin Love.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Hopefully he...
Luckily, Jim, I got my obliques taken out when I was 17, so I never had to worry about that. Don't need them.
Yeah, my glutes
along with your tonsils
fired since I was born. So
Exactly.